Have you ever felt like on some level you are preventing yourself from becoming more successful, more happier, richer, whatever that goal is that you really want? If you ever felt like you're stagnating or you're holding back, it might be because you're the one preventing yourself from going there. The fear of success is real, but not because it's a fear of itself. What we are really afraid, what we are really resisting, and why we are really preventing, holding ourselves back from getting there is because of what we subconsciously project on what would happen if I get there. I give you something as an example that what used to be true for me in my life is that if I have too much money, if I make the amount of money that I wanted to make back then, people will leave me, people won't be able to trust people, I'll become greedy, I'll become bad, something will happen, right? I had all those form of belief attached with money because money was bad, money was the root of all evil. It's not humble to want so much money. And without me even realizing that all those beliefs were coming from my family, from the environment in which I grew up, and from my perception of money and rich people, no matter how much I wanted to make money, no matter how much I worked, no matter how much money came in, it would come out as fast as I did that, until I started to realize that I had so much projection toward becoming richer, toward having more money, that as long as this was there, I was creating inner conflict between what I wanted consciously and what subconsciously was one of my fear of happening. So we gotta start, upgrading those false beliefs that are subconsciously holding us back. And let me give you another example. I've talked to many people who, they want to get there from here, but they feel like, I don't know if I have what it takes to get there. And so they commit, they want to start, but they procrastinate, they hold back, they make excuses. Time passes and they still haven't started. Why is that? Because subconsciously, often what it is that there is that lack of belief that I have what it takes to get there. And what if I get on my way and I fail? And what if I get on my way and I lose face? And what if I get on my way and I get rejected, and I get embarrassed and it doesn't work and I feel like a failure? So because they don't have the certainty that they're gonna get there or they have what it takes, and they have all those fears of embarrassment and shame and rejection, they rather not even try to get there because the fear is holding them back. And so they rather play it safe subconsciously and hold back rather than go there. Another one of my beliefs in the past was that more success equals more problem. So you can see how much resistance there may be there, because on some level I really wanted to get more successful, right? Grow my business, and in every way that success meant to me, I felt like I really had to try harder and harder and harder. But on some level, I felt like I was never getting what I really wanted because I felt like I could always get more. So how am I holding myself back, right? Until one day I realized that I had this deep fear that if I allow myself to get to that level, it will come with problems. And I remember allowing myself to feel that fear, right? That real deep, intense fear that, I'll get into problems, things will not gonna work out, I might end up losing everything, people might betray me, I might, something bad might happen when I get there that I don't wanna deal with. Now, of course, you could say, well, this is very hypothetical because you don't know what's gonna happen. Exactly, but as long as subconsciously that projection is there, and this is what you associate getting there with, your subconscious mind will resist, because as much as we want to gain pleasure, we also want to avoid pain. So if you feel like you're struggling to really break through a ceiling, to really make it in certain areas of your life, consider really looking between yourself. How are you holding back? Look for the belief, look for the emotions that you associate with that thing. What are you not loving about that goal, about that success, about that prosperity or that abundance that you want? A few examples of this may be, I'm afraid of the attention I'm gonna get. What if I start a YouTube channel or a TikTok channel or a podcast or whatever, and I get so much negative attention and haters and people criticizing me and rejecting me and not liking me, and I appear bad? Another one might be that you feel like if I go there, if I achieve there, if I get there, people around me might leave me, or they might not love me anymore, or they might not understand what I'm doing, or they might just reject me, right? Another one, and a big one, is not believing in yourself, feeling unworthy, feeling I'm not capable, I don't have what it takes, I'm never gonna make it. And so you're projecting your lack of ability, your lack of confidence, your lack of belief in yourself there. And so instead of falling flat on your face and failing and putting yourself in a position where you can feel all of those type of things, you rather not even start. You procrastinate, you play small, you avoid giving yourself a chance. So all of those are just examples to really help you think a little bit, because I guarantee you that if you're in that situation where you're not getting what you want repeatedly and there's that pattern in your life, you will find conflicting parts in you, beliefs and emotions and thoughts that are resisting getting the very thing that you want, because there's fear, because there's shame, because there's guilt, because there's uncertainty, because there's a lack of confidence, because there's feeling of unworthiness, whatever it might be. And as long as those projections are active subconsciously, you'll keep on repeating the same pattern. You'll keep on having the same coping mechanism. You'll keep on procrastinating, being demotivating, sabotaging your own result in the same way. So I invite you to look between yourself. I invite you to reflect. I invite you to really find those beliefs, those emotions that are holding you back, so that you can start cleaning them up. And when I started clearing my own belief about money and all the projections I had about money, about rich people are greedy and money is bad, and money equals more problems and people are gonna leave me and I cannot trust people, and I'm gonna lose all my money and all of these type of things. When I started to realize that all of those were just beliefs that were given me, and that it doesn't mean anything, really doesn't mean anything, but I've just been projecting all that crap on it, this is when I started to own that story again. And when you start to own that story and change that story, this is when you give yourself that realignment between what you want consciously and subconsciously, and now you start to become congruent. You start to attract and make space and believe that those things are good for me. I am safe in getting there. Whatever happens, I can handle it. And that is so important, because as long as there's incongruency, there will be resistance, there will be inner conflict, and there will be mixed result in what you're creating in your reality. So I hope this video makes sense, guys. Let me know what you think down in the comments. If you have any question, if you like this type of content, make sure you hit the subscribe button. I'll see you next time. Be well.